Hello, all my ghouls and goblins. I hope you all are having a frightful night, and if not, I hope it only gets better. Welcome to this, to my couch, where we talk about everything and anything, and hopefully don't get dog hair all over our black clothes. That's why we laid a nice blanket down, but we can only hope for the best, right? Today we are going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for so long, and I haven't really had the excuse to until now, I guess you could say, because rabbit holes. Let's just start the conversation with rabbit holes, because my goodness. So for those of you that have read the title, you know what we're talking about today. It's Scooby-Doo and all the, some of the main theories that are attached to Scooby-Doo. But my goodness, there are so many. And I've been wanting to talk about Scooby-Doo for so long because these theories are just absolutely wild. And I've never had the excuse to just go ham about like my theories and my conspiracies and all the other things in general to talk about Scooby-Doo. But yeah. But for those who do not know me, hi, hello. I am the creator of this wonderful thing called Killer Cafe, where we talk about killers, crimes, and as well as the spooky, the scary, and sometimes the skeletons, which that's what we're doing today. We're talking about the skeletons, the conspiracy theories, the theories about everything, because I'm just so excited to talk about this. You have no idea. But with all that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, share with all your friends. Let me know down below all the theories you have of Scooby-Doo, because there are so many. And my goodness, they're just so much fun to talk about. And I will definitely be down in the comments with you all talking about all the theories, because there are more than what I'm just going to talk about. I'm only talking about a very limited few. And those few are the ones that I sort of like truly believe in, just because of everything going on with the show. And I'm not talking about the live action ones at all. I'm talking about the 1960s to 70s and 80s version. I'm not talking about the new ones that came out in the mid to late 2000s. I'm definitely not talking about the newer one, because that one, I don't even know if it's canon or not, but that one doesn't really seem like it's attached to the older one. And the newer one, yeah, it had its own little spinoff and everything, but it's not attached to the older one. But they do have the canon characters, and they have Scrappy-Doo. And we're not talking about the live action TV or the live action movies, because even though I loved the live action movies and I thought they were hilarious, they're not really attached to the 60s and 70s TV show. They are in a way, but they aren't, and it's just a mix of different things, and a lot of the theories aren't attached to that one. Anyway, not really part of it, but with all that being said, so like, with all that being said, let's grab a coffee or a drink, grab a nice little blanket, and let's dive on in to Scooby-Doo. So the first theory that I want to talk about is the theory of that the gang is dead. So this one is a little bit interesting, just because I've always had this notion while watching these old TV shows that most characters in these TV shows are actually dead. But with Scooby-Doo, it really does seem like they are dead. Now, mind you, it's kind of a back and forth thing, because yes, they can be dead, but they can also be alive because of the interactions that they've had. But one of the main examples that I have seen floating around for this theory is, it's like a frightful night is no delight, I believe it is. It's in the season 1, I believe it's like episode 16 or 17. And it's where Fred inherits an old cursed mansion or castle from an old relative of his. So he inherits this castle or this mansion or whatnot from an old relative, and it's supposedly like super, super cursed. And as they go through this, each trap captures the person one by one. And a lot of people use this specific episode of them traveling into the afterlife and telling us pretty much that, like, hey, they're dead. Everything else that you've been seeing is them possibly alive, but not truly. And this is how they ended up in the afterlife before the whole show has started, you know? So when I first was digging through, I was looking through to try to figure out why people think they're dead, but it's just because nobody sees their everyday life. They only see the theories and, or not the theories, them traveling to and from adventures. So, like the creeper and the haunted carnival and all these other things, they only see them traveling to wherever it's haunted or to something where they find out it is haunted. And then whatever monster that they encounter, that the rest of that ensues and the travel ensues. So we never actually see the everyday day-to-day life of the characters. So I feel like a lot of people do believe that they're dead, or just because of everything going on with the ghosts and the goblins and the creepers and all that stuff. The second theory that I'm really into is that the monsters are real. So I've always kind of believed in this, or that there's actually a curse over the towns itself, or in their world, there's a curse of when you inherit or become the monster. So, like putting on the mask. Ooh, like Goosebumps. Who watched Goosebumps? Because I did, and I was a little scared as a kid from that stuff. Even though I liked the creepy stuff, I was a little scared. It got me. The plant man. Anyway, it's like Goosebumps with the haunted mask, where when you pull over the mask, it like suction cups to your face, and you, in a way, become that. Or like, what is it? I think it's like Halloween Town 2, I believe is the movie, where they're having like the why can't I think of it? It's like the ballroom, not the ballroom, it's like the gymnasium, the party where everybody's wearing all these crazy costumes, and then this really like attractive guy, but actually he's like this horrible person, comes, swoops in and like takes over the party, he makes everybody into the goblins, and then he makes Halloween Town all the normies. You remember that, maybe, possibly? I grew up in the 90s and 2000s. I remember everything. But it's like that, where there's like some kind of curse or something in the town, where once you put on that mask, you become that creature in a way. There's a lot of instances of people doing stuff that shouldn't be physically possible, like ghosts and all this other stuff, where they later explain on in the episode of how they're able to do that with like projector screens or roller skates or whatnot. But some of the stuff that they do just does not seem plausible, even with the projectors and the mirrors and the smoke screens. Like, there was one instance, I forget the name of the actual episode, I'll try to remember it and put it here, but they're like traveling around trying to find either, I don't know, I want to say it's when Scooby-Doo or like was invited to try to win this house or this castle, or maybe it was like a box of money, like someone died that he helped or whatnot. I don't fully remember the story. I just remember them opening up the treasure at the end. Well, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but I just remember them opening the treasure at the end and them being full of like fake Confederate money or something of that nature, and it being like the huge, like biggest letdown in the world. But the entire time they're there, it's like whoever's the last one standing keeps the house or the money or whatnot. And one of the guys is pretending to be the monster and like traveling around and doing all this crazy stuff. and he's like traveling through walls and like going like able to disappear and reappear somewhere else within seconds. And mind you, this is a cartoon, so obviously, yes, cartoon physics, but it's just wild to me how, and then like they finally do capture, like say for instance, they finally do capture the person, which they always do, and they take off the mask, and it's like this ordinary person that you wouldn't expect them to even be able to do this, but it's somehow a possibility. I don't know. I might be reaching with that theory, but I truly believe that once you put on that mask, the villains do become the monsters, and they're real. Let me know what you think. I might be reaching on that one, but let me know. The third theory that I truly do believe in is that, well, I don't really know if I believe in this one. It's a hit and miss some days. Scooby-Doo is either a USSR like experiment or an alien. So this theory, there's two theories for Scooby-Doo on why he can talk and why the gang can't understand him. One of them being like Scooby Snacks, like the Scooby Snacks include something in the agent that allows Scooby to talk and everybody else to understand them. But you never really see the others communicate with him. You do see Velma communicate with him. But, well, I mean, I guess everybody does communicate with him at some point. But either way, they always say like the Scooby-Doo snacks have something in them that causes like Shaggy and Scooby to have this like great deep bond and able to communicate and blah blah blah, while the others sometimes have a harder time understanding him. But the USSR and the alien one are very interesting to me because in the one episode, I forget what episode it was, but they go to Nevada. They go to Area 51, I believe, and they meet up with this other woman and her dog, and I forget their names. I'm so sorry, I forget their names, but they meet up with them, and at the end, they find out that they're both aliens, and they're able to, like, even the dog is able to speak, and then they, like, shoot off back to their home planet and whatnot. And it was always interesting to me because that was a earlier 2000 one, I believe, like an early 2000 episode, maybe a later one. I don't remember, but I remember watching that and thinking, like, why didn't Scooby-Doo change too? Because I didn't fully grow up on the older ones. I kind of got a weird mix because I didn't watch Scooby-Doo until later in my childhood. So when I got those weird mixes, I always didn't understand the like canonicity of him. But either way, a lot of other people believe that he also was a USSR experiment, or that he was like a USSR astronaut that they were doing experiments on to make him able to talk so he could communicate while they shot him up into space. I haven't really seen anything that would prove that one, but it could be, but I haven't seen anything that proves it. Because when you look back at everything, he talks, his whole family line talks, so maybe his whole family line was part of that USSR experiment, and they were able to escape or something of that nature. And it's just, I don't know, it's just wild because that was the one thing that I always was trying to figure out as I got older. If you hear stuff in the background, I am so sorry. Everybody is home. So, yeah, even my little one. It's crazy. But anyway. There are many theories about Scooby-Doo on why he can talk and what are the reasons for him talking, but like, I don't know, none of them really make sense. I mean, the alien one slightly does, but as you get further along in the series, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense on why he would be an alien. Some people say that maybe I don't know, like, there was one theory that I saw about him where it's like, oh, he's not speaking, he's just barking, but we're hearing what the gang thinks he's saying. So that was one theory, which, I mean, I could kind of understand that because a lot of people talk to their dogs. Like, I talk to the dogs, I talk to my dogs all the time. So it would make sense on why, like, maybe that's what the original developers were thinking, or maybe it's just they decided they wanted a talking dog in their universe, so they did it. I don't know. Nonetheless, those two theories I've always seen floating around, either of him being the agent and escaping after all these experiments were done on him, or that he was an alien that came down and... Excuse you, sir. Excuse you. Yeah, excuse you. That was uncalled for. There is a theory that maybe Scooby-Doo came down as a pup, as an alien, and met up with Shaggy, and, like, him on The Secret, but no one really knows. They did do a spinoff when they were, like, kids, but I have never really known if that was supposed to be canon or not. I don't know. Everything's just kind of up in the air with Scooby-Doo. It's been going on for 50 years, mind you. It has been going on for so long, and they have rebranded multiple times, and it's just wild how Scooby-Doo has like, across so many generations, done so many different things, and, like, I think there's a TV show called, like, Scooby-Doo, Who Are You? And, like, celebrities come on and solve all these crazy things with the gang, or, what was the one? I don't know where it was at. Anyway. There's just a multitude of different things, and I'm just not sure about Scooby-Doo, but I know, maybe one day we'll get the answers, or maybe the developers have already told us and I'm just dumb and didn't see it, which also could be a big factor. Another theory that I absolutely, I guess you could say, believe in, or I think is a big thing, is that the villains are either a cause of their greed or a cause of someone else's greed. A lot of times when people, or like when they're called to the place where something is happening, it's because someone is losing money, trying to steal money, trying to do something of that nature that is a cause of their own greed. But I also think there are a couple episodes that are based on someone else's greed and someone just trying to get back whatever they lost. So it's kind of just a hit and miss with this one. I do think it's a commentary, like especially the 60s and the 70s commentary of capitalism and how bad it can be. And I also think that with this TV show, it was also a main issue of, like, different stereotypes meshing together. So I think a lot of times when we think of Scooby-Doo, we think of, like, the preppy boy and the preppy girl and the nerdy girl, and then, like, the two, for lack of a better term, stoner guys, and so on and so forth. But a lot of times in the 60s and 70s, it was a very good mesh of people in that retrospect. So people are just kind of adding into that, I guess you could say, well, they're not adding into that, but they're using them as a means of trying to bring together all the stereotypes to see, like, hey, you guys can be friends, and, like, all of this other stuff. But again, don't know. But I don't know. And last but not least, my favorite theory of all, that Shaggy and Scooby are stoners. Because why not? The two most relaxed and hungry characters in the entire world are stoners. So I have to laugh at this because it's such a crazy thing. I was looking up these theories, and most people were just like, oh, it's because they're always hungry and they never seem satiated and they're so relaxed and so calm and blah, blah, blah. And like, one of the main theories behind this is a episode called The Haunted Carnival, where they order this popcorn while there, and they eat the popcorn, or this magic popcorn, and they eat the popcorn and start to hallucinate and go crazy and all this other stuff. And everybody's like, see, that's why you know they're stoners, because they took hallucinogenics and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, are they actually stoners, or are they just the typical teens, just super hungry? I mean, granted, this was made in the late 60s, early 70s, so they could be stoners, they could be the typical 60s, 70s characters. I mean, yeah. One thing, though, that I really enjoyed was I was looking up just random things about Scooby-Doo because I was really curious. And the original voice actor for Scooby only said he would like come back and do it and be the voice of Scooby is if he matched what the voice actor was, which was vegetarian. So if you watch Scooby with that in mind, you'll see that a lot of times, like after a certain period, I forget when, he switches to vegetarianism. So any of the like meat sandwiches that we all think he's eating is not actually meat, it's all vegetarian. It's just kind of like a wild little thing that I found, which I actually really enjoyed. I thought that was a nice little touch to make the character more attached to his voice character. I forget the guy's name, though. I'll have to look it up and put it somewhere around here. But yeah, that was a wild thing. I also heard another theory that I thought was really cool that I'm going to insert in really quickly, is that whenever you see Shaggy wearing a red shirt, that's when you know it's a simulation and not part of the real world. So in the movie, it's like the cyber attack or something of that nature, they get teleported from the real world into the cyber world, and I think it's like the final level is their world just slightly altered. So it's like all of the creatures, so like the creeper and a couple of the other characters all come back, or the old monsters come back. And when they meet up with their old selves, they're all wearing the original clothing except for Shaggy. Shaggy is wearing a red top with like blue jeans, I think it is, like a dark blue color. And Scooby, I believe, is wearing like a red collar instead of a blue one. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. But it's so cool because there's multiple episodes that I've watched where, like, I think it's like an unwanted werewolf or something, or anyway, you meet like Shaggy's girlfriend and all these crazy other things, but he's wearing red the entire, like Shaggy is wearing red the entire time. So you know, at least if you believe in that theory, that this is part of the simulation world and not the real world, because he's not wearing green, he's wearing red. So I always thought that was kind of interesting too, how like little theories here and there will like peek through because of certain canonicities of movies and such. But nonetheless, it's very interesting, at least I think so. But yeah, those are all my theories. What are yours? Some of yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, all those beautiful things. I will definitely be doing more of these. I actually have a idea for one coming up soon. It's not for a TV show, it's for something else, but I'm pretty excited about it because it's one of my deep passions. I love all things paranormal and spooky and all that other stuff. I'm a criminology major as well, so of course the true crime and the minds of criminals and victimology and how to help victims and such. So, anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoy talking about TV shows. I'm sorry this was kind of all over the place. I meant to get this filmed and out on my birthday, which was 420. I thought that would be a really fun little theory at the end about the stoners on 420 and all that jazz. But, mom life doesn't always happen the way it needs to or does. But anywho, I am rambling. I am literally like 30 minutes in, I think. A little less than 30 minutes, and I have to edit this still and try to get it out. So I hope you all enjoy. Please do all the beautiful YouTube things, and I will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.